Alrighty, so today's trading, we can see that the downturn that we had through here kind of has bottomed out, and it is pretty much at the bottom of the channel that I had drawn ages ago. And you can see that we are on an upward momentum here. We've broken through the level that I would call it the resistance level here. We've kind of broken through that a little bit. We're playing around with that right now this morning, and probably going to be continuing to break through that. So I went ahead and did a long position here, and thinking that it would probably get up to, thereabouts. Maybe not quite that high, but right in here. So it's a decent trade. I'm not expecting a great big movement there. Lowered it just a little bit and got out. And the first trade I made 100. And this is 9:07 that I started trading this morning. And so immediately after that, I was very glad that I'd gotten out because it had a big drop. And so you can see on the short-term chart that talking about like the 15 sort of, and the really short term, the main one here, are pretty bullish. They're looking like they might be turning up. But the 30-minute chart over here is looking like it's probably going to tip over and drop. So I want to be very cautious this morning with my trades, as always. And not think that it's probably going to go up too far, I guess is kind of how to look at that. All right, so I got into another long position here as it started to show upward momentum. And I have an exit order, very reasonable location there. Dropped it just one tick and dropped it another tick, and then it took it. So the second trade I made a little over 100 as well. And so now we're waiting for another opportunity. We've got about 4 minutes till the opening bell. And I actually did a short this time because it looked like each time it was peaking out just a little bit lower than before. As a matter of fact, I kind of see a pennant pattern forming here. And so there's a lot of uncertainty as it kind of squeezes into that pennant pattern. And there I drew it. So I put in my exit order, right at the bottom of that, which is actually a couple ticks below the SMA. Looked like it was going to take it. But then it kind of bounced back up again. And so I raised it up, and right at that last second, I thought about getting out at a very, very small profit, and I just did not react in time. I had to make a really quick decision and then act on it, and I just didn't pull it off. And so it kind of broke through the top of that pennant pattern, and I realized it's probably going to continue to go up a bit more. So I just got out of that position at a little bit of a loss, if I remember right. All right, and then I waited for it to drop down and put in an order to get in, and it took it and then continued to drop. So that was unfortunate. Basically lost all my profits from the morning. Just looking at the bigger time frames, though, I do think it looks like it's probably going to bounce. Even though the MACD is nosing over, I do think it'll probably bounce up just a little ways anyway. So I put in an order right there. Don't think that's expecting a lot. When it went up and then showed signs of dropping again, and the MACD is kind of losing momentum, I decided, nope, it's probably going to drop some more. So I did a reverse with a small loss right here. And now I'm in a short position and have my exit order in down here, kind of at the the bottom of the valley that's showing right about there. And it went up, and I decided I better put in a stop order because we really don't want to hang on to this past that point. I mean, that would be a huge loss for me, but we're at 0 right now. So, it's not too bad. And I'm glad that I placed the stop because I don't know that I could have gotten out at that point. It takes a lot of mental fortitude to get out at a loss for me. But again, I'm glad that I did because it continued on up. Looked like it was nosing over. Now the MACD is really high, and now the MACD is matching more what I see on the 30-minute chart, not so much the 15-minute chart now. And I decided that it was probably going to drop. however far it might go. It might even just go down to this point, but that's a good trade. So I got into a short, put in my exit order. Actually, it was more of a reverse order right through here. That's why it's 2 instead of the 1 that I normally do. Okay, kind of flattened out. I raised it up, went up a little further, and waiting for it to drop. This does not look good. Okay, so I decided to reverse right here at a $462 loss. I didn't like the charts. They're all showing like they're going up. All the MACDs, we've got some huge momentum built up now. We've actually broken the peaks that we formed over here. So I do think it'll probably go up quite a ways at this point. So I just very quickly reversed, and I put in a looking ahead order, kind of this blue line right here, which is this blue line here, which is just above 56.40. I do think that's probably where it will hit today. That's my best guess. That's the blue SMA on the 1 hour chart, and it looks like it's heading there. So I'm holding on to this long position, kind of long term. Went ahead and put in my exit order. This is one of those places where I often get myself into trouble because I'm hanging on and not really watching it. However, it did continue to go up, and now I am in a profitable position. So I've whittled back my losses. I'm still at a loss altogether, but this particular trade is in a profitable place. And I put in a stop order. Actually, it looks like it was a limit order, but anyway, because I didn't like where it was heading. And it dropped down there, and I waited till it dropped and then showed signs of it turning, and I got into another long position, put in my stop order down here and my exit order up here, raised it a little bit because I'm optimistic, and then I decided, nope, it's going to fall down again. So I got out right there and working on whittling those losses back. Now it's like $312 loss. Okay, you can see that the wick of this little candle over here is actually lower than this one over here. So we are, basically it's this peak here is lower than this peak. So we are losing momentum. You can see that on the RSI as well. I am very concerned that we've peaked out and it's going to be dropping now. So I'm just watching it at this point, trying to decide what I should do. And when it headed up and broke through that, I decided to do a long. So I put in an exit, or I put in bracketed orders here and an entrance order way down here because I figured I didn't want to get in until it dropped down to that point. And I thought it probably would. And it did. I actually canceled that before it got to that point because I was just a little worried. I don't like to place orders like that. Sorry about that. Before I see signs of it turning. So I got out. I thought, it's going to drop. I'm just going to wait. And here it showed signs of it turning. So I went ahead and got into a bracketed position, long, and it went up, and I raised my stop to follow it and got stopped out. And so then I placed another one when it showed like it was not going to drop, and the MACD is just turning. It's going to go up. It did drop some more. It's real tricky this morning. It's just really hard to predict. So I canceled my bracketed orders, canceled my stops, and I put in an order for 2 limit orders when it comes back up, which I thought it probably would. At this point, I wanted to reverse at that point right there. So there we go. It reversed. So now I'm in a short position, and I put an exit order in here. Very small trade right through here. And there we go. It dropped, boom, right down to that line and took it. And now I've whittled my losses back to $150. So that's much better. I do have 11 trades under my belt here, but unfortunate that it did that. So I left it alone for a while, walked away, and came back, and look at that. It has dropped down to what I would consider a support. We see a support right through here and the yellow SMA on the 5-minute chart. So these are very short-term charts, but still, that is a very possible bouncing place. So I kind of started to watch it more carefully to see where it might go. And we see our first great big green candle right through here, and it's kind of leveled off now. So I got into another long position at this point. We can see the MACD is already starting to turn. It did take a little bit more of a nosedive, right back down to that red line where we started off this morning. So it is struggling to break free from that and go up at this point. I do think it will eventually, but it will come down and bounce off of that every once in a while. So I'm still in this long position. This is a really good recovery. I do think it'll be all right. I guess I changed my mind here because I have an order into reverse at this point. And so now I'm in a short, and that's not going so well. And I'm hoping just to get out at basically break even at that point. So now I've gotten my losses back up into the $750 range. So this has not been a good trading day. Okay, so let me look at that again. I'm in a short, and I reversed right through here with a market order. So I'm now in a long position. And I set my exit order up high. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I got filled when I was out of the room. It kept continuing to go up at this point, and I think I put my order in, right around this area and got filled. So now my losses are back down to $200, and I'm out trying to figure out what to do next. It looks like we are going to have another nosedive, probably another dip. So I did a short. And looking over here, I think this is probably at least where it's going to go to. Might even drop down to that red line again, which is absolutely humongous. Set my order, walked away. I'm working in the same room, but I'm not really watching it steadily. I've set alerts to kind of help me to know when it's gone past certain key points. All right, now we're in a profitable position. Still kind of watching it. It's still kind of trickling down. I think that it's really, really close. I just raised it up just a little bit to be above the gold SMA there, and got filled right there. So now I'm actually at a profit of 137. So it's been a really volatile day. Lots of big swings. Okay, so watching it some more, trying to figure out if I should trade more. Should I quit? What should I do? And of course, I traded some more. So it went up to this point, and I figured it would probably drop down. Don't know quite why I decided that, but I did. So it's a short, and I got filled and ended that last trade at $287. So let's go back and look at that last trade one more time, because I forgot to scroll past that. I don't know where I had placed my exit order, but we went right back down to that purple channel line right through there. So I guess that was a good call, turns out. Okay, and there we go. Do not suggest trading like this, but this was just a particularly difficult day, and we did what we could.